We've created a create page. Now we're going to create a read page. So go File, New, PHP, Create, and save the file straight away. File, Save As, and we're going to call it Read Customer. And click Save. So in this file, we're going to display a record set. A record set is a list of results from the database. And this particular record set is going to display all records that are contained within our customer table. We'll go over to the phpMyAdmin and we'll see the contents of that. So I'm just going to click on Customer here and browse. So I only have 3 records. So back to Dreamweaver. First thing we're going to do is create a record set. So go to Server Behaviors and then click on the plus sign and then Record Set. And again, we have to name our record set. I'm going to call it RS for record set, RS Customer. And the connection is IPT, which we created earlier. The table is Customer, and we're selecting all fields. We're not doing any filtering. That's like using a where clause, and we're not doing any sorting yet. Just click OK to that. Now the next thing we're going to do is display the total number of records. So I'm just going to write here total, just to indicate what this number is going to be. Total, and to display the total number of records, go to plus, and then go to Display Record Count, then select Display Total Records, and select the record set. We've only got 1. Okay. So this code here, you can see it in my HTML view, that PHP code is going to display the total number of records in our customer table, which should be 3. Next thing we're going to do is create a div. A div is a division within your HTML page. It's just a way of breaking up your page so you can do certain things with parts of the page. So under comment here, we're going in our insert panel, I'm going to drag that one, the div. Or actually, we can just click on it. And we're not going to put in a class, we're not going to specify an ID. We'll just click OK for now. So we've got a div here. And the next thing we're going to do is go back to, we've got our div highlighted. Now, what if we didn't have it highlighted? By default, as soon as you add a new element in Dreamweaver, it will be highlighted and selected. But if we click off it, it's no longer selected. Now, if we want to select it again, there's a few ways. A quicker way is down here. Once you click it on it once, you can go to this code navigator and select it. And that'll select the whole thing. I find that easier to do, just to make sure that you've selected the entire div. Click on your plus again. Let's try repeat region again. The repeat region is asking how many records do we want to display at a time. Now 10's a good number, but in order to see a bit more functionality, I'm going to drop it down to 2. On a page, we're only going to display 2 records. Of course, normally you display a lot more than that, at least 10, possibly 20, 30. But I'm only going to display 2. So we've got 3 records. So I'll just click OK and we'll have a look at that. So now we have a repeat region. So this repeat region, as the name suggests, it's repeated for every row or record in our table. What we've got here is repeated for each record. I'm going to create some links. I'm just going to click off of just down the bottom here, just below the repeat region now. I'm going to add some paging controls. So you would have seen some paging controls on various websites. And basically, you've got 4 options here. Move to first page. We've got 3 records in our database. We're only displaying 2 at a time. So we're going to have 2 pages. So this move to first page is going to display our first 2 records when you click on it. So these are all links. And actually, we can write first. And then highlight it. Make sure we don't highlight too much. Don't select too much. And then go to record set paging, move to first page. So that's going to create a link. The text of the link will be first, what we highlighted, and it's just going to take us to the first page of our results or the first page of the record set. And click OK. Then we just have a space. You can space these out a bit more. Actually, in HTML, you need to use what they call a non-breaking space. And at this point, it's probably better to have a look at the HTML view just to make sure what you think you're doing is what you're doing. And down here, that's where I want to add my space. And I have to actually add this ampersand MBSP. That stands for non-breaking space. And the reason for that is HTML actually ignores white space in your code. One space it'll recognize. But if you want more than one space, you actually need to put in these non-breaking space special characters. So that'll be 4 spaces now. So we've got the first one, and then we've got 3 more. So that's going to space it out pretty well. And I'm just going to type last, so first, last, and we'll just copy these non-breaking spaces again. And well, we also have next, so that takes us to the next page of results, and then previous as well. You can change the order of these links. You don't have to display them as I've done. So I've updated my HTML code. Just click back in the design view for that to update. Oops, we've got a problem there. We need a semicolon. And we need another semicolon here. Copy and pasting error. Okay, so we've got the text, which is going to be used for our links. We've already done the first one. Let's do the last one. So just highlight the text, go to plus, go to record set paging, and select move to last page. Click OK, and highlight the next one, next. Record set paging, move to next page, and the final one, previous. Record set paging, move to previous page. Okay, so we've got our links. We only have 2 pages and only 2 records have been displayed at a time. The final thing we need to do is change the content of our repeat region. We don't want to repeat content for new div tag goes here. So we'll delete that. What we want to do is go back to our bindings, although you do have a few options here if you want to use them. Go to bindings and just drag across where we can display the customer ID and what else going? First name, last name, and that'll do just for demonstration purposes. Your course would lay this out a lot better, format it a lot nicer, but just save that for now and remember to synchronize. So over here, preview, I'm going to add that to the server, and let's see what it looks like. Now this is one I had earlier. So remember that Riz is when it's just localhost /Riz, it's just our index.php file. But we want to bring up the read customer, just type it in there with an underscore .php. Okay, there we go. So this is our results. We've got the total number of records is 3. And for each record, we're displaying the ID and the first name and the last name. And we've got our page controls. So the first page, if I click on that, that just takes us to the first page, which we are on the first page. What about next? Okay, next takes us to the next record in the record set, which is in our table. So that's displaying the ID of 4 and Paul and Rowbotham. And if I click on last is the same as this one. If you click on previous, they'll take you back to the first page. Click on last, they'll take you to the last page. So we only had 3 records, and because we said display only 2, we've only got 2 pages. That's how we do a basic read page.